And there is no illness or disease that you could possibly have when a doctor is going to say, well, I know what we're going to do. We're going to take this needle and I'm going to inject this stuff into you so you have a blown up bicep. So I'm Matt, the bald a-hole here, and today I'm just going to stare at you right in the face and say, don't inject petroleum jelly or synthol into your arms, into your legs, into your shoulders, into your back, or any part of your body. Because we're talking about this man, Kirill Tereshin, who is a Russian 25 years old, who did indeed decide, you know what, my biceps and arms don't look very good. I don't want to dedicate the time going to the gym or eating the right stuff or doing whatever the hell I want to do. I don't even want to go past PEDs. I want to bypass that, and I'm going to take whatever this substance is, and I'm going to inject it straight into my arm. And do you know what happens every time somebody does this? One, personally speaking, I think you look like some kind of terrifying thing that has risen from the ground, like a locust horde from the Gears of War series. And two, you put yourself under serious medical pressure, and yet nobody seems to care. Now, of course, when it comes to an aesthetic look, you have to decide what you like and what you don't like. But this, to me, is absolutely nuts. And the headline is, doctors warn Popeye he faces death unless he removes lumps of jelly from bicep. And of course, Popeye is in inverted commas, but again, Popeye didn't do this. Popeye ate a lot of spinach. Again, is a little bit of a lie. That's not going to get you massive biceps either. But still, I don't think we should be dragging Popeye into this. He just wanted to bang whatever her face was. Dolores? No, I can't remember. Olive! The Russian man, dubbed Popeye due to his artificially pumped up biceps, has been warned he could die if he doesn't remove the lump of hardened petroleum jelly from his arms. You can see his cartoonish muscles here.
Вот здесь вот я буду лежать 15 минут. Вот, только на этот бицепс буду делать. Этот как укол называется?
Это постановка катетера.
Катетер будут ставить. Это тяжелая третья операция будет. Очень сложная. Я не знаю, что будет с этого. Вот, как-то так.
Смотри, ты поставишь катетер, а я подключу, перевернется он, и я подключу. Хорошо? Мы сейчас технически думаем, как удобнее это сделать нам. Потерпите, потерпите.
Закладчик распускайте.
Сейчас анализы там, да?
Неприятно немного было.
Kirill Tereshin started injecting his arms several years ago to give himself a superhero pumped up look, but he's at now a risk of losing his arms or dying if he doesn't get the substance removed. Tereshin from Moscow has already had an operation to remove some of the jelly from his triceps and is now facing another surgery to sort out his biceps. The surgeon warned him bluntly, the risk of complications in this case is very high, but inaction will not help the patient. A toxic substance in the body long term can complicate the kidneys and lead to death. His upcoming operation will take the jelly out of his left arm. So this is the thing, right? If we want to start talking about performance-enhancing drugs, not personally something I want to take, but if you want to take them, make sure you do your research, make sure you educate yourself, make sure you go watch a bunch of videos where people actually tell you the goods, the bads, the pros and cons, and then you can make a decision. But if anybody is telling you that you can put a foreign substance into your body and not eventually have it turn around and kick your ass, they are lying to you. It will happen no matter what you do unless you are under medical supervision. And there is no illness or disease that you could possibly have when a doctor is going to say, well, I know what we're going to do. We're going to take this needle and I'm going to inject this stuff into you so you have a blown up bicep. You don't need it. It doesn't contribute to your life. Now, I currently understand the self-doubt that some people have and the unconfidence that some people have, but I promise you, this is not the answer. All that's going to happen is you're going to look at one bicep and you think, oh, it could be even bigger. And then you go look at tricep and think it's going to be even bigger. Then maybe you look at your legs or your chest or something like that. And some people, I bet, and I know this is true because I've seen pictures, have taken a needle and injected it right into their chest. And look, that's no crazier than everywhere else. But to me, if you're mucking around this heart area, and that's not how the human body works, I'm just talking in silly talk now, I just think it's nuts. I think it's crazy. And you see stories like this all of the time. And again, look how weird it looks. I don't like saying that because, again, I think beauty is in the eye of the beholder. But this is not the way. It's so obvious that he hasn't trained his muscles in order to peak his bicep because you can look at his forearm and see how much smaller it is. So I guess you do it solely because you're going to get attention because people are going to be like, oh, bro, what is wrong with you? But that is only going to go so far. That is like getting obsessed with Instagram likes or Twitter likes or, somewhat ironically, YouTube views. It will give you that dopamine response like initially, but eventually you're not dealing with the underlying problems, so it's just gonna kick your ass. In a video Teresh shared on social media, he can be seen undergoing a CT scan so medics can see what's lurking inside his arm. If you have to have any kind of operation where the surgeon uses the word lurking, something has gone horribly wrong. In the clip, he explained, "Soon I will have very complicated hard third surgery. I don't know how it will end up." He went on to admit that he made a mistake when he chose to inject his bicep, confessing, "I bulked up my arms when I was 20 due to my stupidity. I did not think about the consequences." And I think that's something that maybe isn't as prevalent as it should be throughout the fitness community. Whether you're doing this or whether you're doing a PD or a steroid, whatever it is, remember, anything you put into your body is going to have some kind of reaction and is going to have some kind of a response. So you have to decide, is it worth the risk? And if the answer is no, well, you've answered your own question. As we have said time and time again, do you want to look big and jacked in a box? And for that one guy that got back to me and said he's talking about Metal Gear Solid, no, I was talking about a coffin. Teresh has previously said he feels guilty that he's in the situation, that he's lucky to have found some surgeons willing to help. "I am very lucky there are doctors who took me on. Gosh forbid something happens to this nerve and I cannot move my arm. I'm really worried about this. I am very afraid. I should have thought about this earlier. I know I blame myself. I know I'm guilty." Speaking after carrying out Kirill's first surgery, Melenkov said petroleum jelly saturates the muscles under skin tissues and the skin itself. All that has to be removed, but we need to keep the vein, nerves, and other functions of the limb. And then he sums it up by saying petroleum jelly is not designed for injection, only external application. And this is why I think the story is actually quite important, right? As I get on my high horse and basically do a PSA, a public service announcement. This guy did it, and this guy now realizes that he flubbed up massively. So if we can get that message out to more people, so if you are tempted to do it, you look at this guy and go, do I really want to go through a bunch of life-threatening surgeries? No, I probably don't. And in order for what? To have, you'll never have the biggest biceps in the world, ever. You'll make them a little bit bigger, but then Steve will walk in, and Steve will have huge arms, and then you'll be devastated. What are you going to do? Inject more stuff into your arms? It's a never-ending cycle. Kirill injected about 3 liters into each arm. It saturated the muscle tissues, blocked blood flow. As a result, the tissue dies and gets replaced with a scar, which is tough as a tree. You can knock on it and hear the usual sound. We have removed all this. You'll also have high fever, strong pain, and weakness. So you're also probably screwing up your body for future muscle gains as well. I don't know this for sure. This is me speculating, but I would imagine that our friend here, if he, once he's got it all taken out and he's back to normal or back to baseline, if he still wants to go to the gym and he still wants to train, he's going to have screwed all his muscles up. So what is the point? Does that sound like something you want to do? Be happy. For starters, be happy with what you have. Doesn't mean you can't have goals to improve what you have, but never take it to this level. I mean, you can do whatever the hell you want. I'm just some guy yelling at YouTube. I'm not going to pop out of the computer and go, what are you doing if you do start doing it? But I still think there is this mentality in the current day where we're looking at pictures on Instagram or we're looking at pictures on social media, or we see someone that's more ripped than us, or we see someone that's bigger than us, and instantly we go to, well, what can I do in order to achieve that in the shortest possible time? And there is no answer. Even if you did all of this, are you going to look like that person? No, you are not, because you are not that person. So just work on what you can work. I spoke about this on the Greg Doucette interview series that is going on the channel the other day. More will be there today and throughout the rest of the week. Even if you don't build any muscle, but you get your body fat percentage down to like 6-7%, everyone's going to think you're jacked anyway. Because you just are. Even if you don't have huge muscles, anybody walking around 6-7% body fat looks like they do something. And if you can add some size to that frame, you're going to be a freak in many people's eyes. Go to the Daily Mail website. I mean, don't, because it's the worst publication ever. But they love posting pictures like, massive celebrity looks massively jacked. And you look at their arm, and you can tell they work out, but it's not like Ronnie Coleman or Phil Heath. And they're acting like, the Hulk has just walked out of the sea. But again, everybody's perception is different, and it depends what you grew up on. I did grow up an old school bodybuilder, so that to me is a big guy. But it's going to be different for you, so don't get lost in it. It's a waste of time, and if it's going to end in death, I mean, what the hell is the point? If anything ends in death other than your life, because that's going to happen to all of us, I really don't think you should be pursuing it. I also like as well, this is on Lad Bible that somebody sent this to me. The topics are weird and Russia. So there you go. I'm sure there is like a proper synthol you can do, and petroleum jelly is something completely different. I mean, I've done a bit of reading on it, but I don't need to delve into it. Either way, it's stupid. And that's why I didn't do massive amounts of research, because either way, I don't think you should do it. So there. If you have done it though, drop me a comment below. I will be intrigued. Now, please do like the video, share the video, and subscribe to the bell ding dings. You know what other videos are going live. There is another video on the screen. Why don't you give it a click and see what happens? I got Patreon, patreon.com/Simon316. I'm on Twitter and Instagram, where you can send me articles such as this at Simon316. Simon.bigcartel.com for merchandise. I mean, Greg Doucette's new Power 13 cookbook. Link in the description below. You can get all the information down there. Also on Cameo, if you'd like a birthday message or some kind of shout out, it'd be lovely to see you. Otherwise, make sure you have a great day. Make sure you have a great week. Make sure you have a great year, and I'll see you on the next one.